relaxing. This is how we meditate at home. We always want to start with a half a minute of silence and end with 2 or 3 minutes of silence. And sometimes you might not feel deep, but you are deep. So take your time to come out slowly. And if you feel some physical sensation, you can take more time to come out and come out slowly. Okay, so now we're going to have a little talk, a little advanced lecture on Thanksgiving and gratitude. And I want to start it off by giving you guys thanks for showing up. They say that 90 to 95% of life is showing up. And so also if you can put your camera on, we're definitely one of the things that we're going to be talking about is 108 ways to raise your vibration. And one of the ways is through a technique is called darshan. In the East, it means in the presence. And in the technological age, we look at it as, I call it virtual darshan, where you can see each other, where you can look into each other's eyes. It actually uplifts each other. So we do the best we can. I know some of you can't turn on your camera, but if you can, you would not only help yourself, but you'd help others in the group. So Thanksgiving. We just had Thanksgiving on Thursday. We're in that Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, Cyber Monday tomorrow. And what does all this mean? To be thankful, to be grateful. And you can always find something to be thankful and grateful about. One of the things is that it's a high vibrational frequency. You can be sad, you can be worried, you can be hurt, but they're usually lower vibrations. And we've been trained, especially in this age. Some of you know some about the Eastern culture. There's an age that's called Kali Yuga, the age of ignorance. And we're in that now. A more modern term for it would be the matrix, okay? 3D reality, third dimensional reality. And the 3D reality, Kali Yuga, is based on death, disease, destruction, poverty, and scarcity. That's the frequency and vibration that is going on there, which we have created ourselves. Okay. There are no victims in the universe. There's only volunteers. We've basically just forgotten who we really are. And we're starting to step into that greatness now of being God, goddesses, sorcerers, masters, okay? Great beings of light. Literally, we're moving from being in humankind to Godkind. God beings masters on this earth. And to be a master, the frequency and the vibration that has been passed down to you through generations, and especially us as Black folks. In fact, as a sister years ago, she termed it post-traumatic slave syndrome, where this frequency, even though times have changed and there's still, some of that going on, racism and slavery and wars and what have you. But all of that starts from within. And the more thankful you are, the more gratitude that you exist, that frequency and that vibration, whenever there's light, the darkness goes away. What we're trained to do is to move, to try to hustle, to try to push the darkness out, fight against the darkness. But in reality, the more you bring in the light, the more you attract your abundance, your birthright, the goodness, the greatness, the more you start dealing into the God spell, some people call it the gospel, but the God spell, because it just spells going on in life day in and day out. And the more you raise your consciousness, the highest and best thing you can do in life is to raise your consciousness, to wake up to who you really are. And one of the ways to start that aspect is to be thankful, to be grateful, to be, thankful for the air that you breathe, thankful for family, friends, thankful for the body that you embody. And as we know, and a lot of what I'm going to say is just reminders, because you have all knowledge inside of yourself. But whatever you put your attention on grows in your life. That you're not a human being that once in a while has a spiritual experience. You're 1,000% spiritual having a human experience. And the more you wake up to your spirituality, the greater your experience in life, and the more grateful, the more thankful you feel. There are only two countries in the entire world that have a national Thanksgiving celebration. They are the US, as you know, and Canada. That's it. Out of almost, I think it's like 169, 189 countries. It's almost 200 countries. And there's only two that have a national Thanksgiving celebration. Now, we know there was all kinds of other stuff going on, because really the real Indians in this country were Black folks who were Aborigines, all right? And the Indians, and also, as you know, the turkeys are not necessarily happy about Thanksgiving, okay? But the concept, the thought of Thanksgiving creates a certain frequency and vibration in your life. In fact, there was a great scientist, probably a number of you have heard of him. His name was Tesla. And he said that if you really want to know about the universe, you look at frequency and vibration. Okay. And so that frequency, the vibration of Kali Yuga is changing at a very fast rate. In the God spell, they would call it quickening. Literally, the quickening from your soul, from your spirit, from your Atman is enlivening, as above, so below, as within, so without. So as you enliven it within yourself, it has to manifest out here in 3D reality. Okay? Because everything on the inside is cause. Everything on the outside is effect. And again, we're conditioning, programmed to do, if you want something to change, you maneuver on the outside. You hustle, you grind, you get upset. In fact, it's like a worldwide thing, especially in the Western world, that if something doesn't go your way, you can get angry. You can get pissed off. Oh, I'm so upset with that, blah, 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 blah. And that's just a 3D Kali Yuga conditioning. Okay. Another very, very wise spiritual teacher said, look, the highest and best thing you can do in life is feel good, regardless of outside circumstances. So feeling good is an art. Okay. I refer to it as bliss. In fact, my great teacher, I was blessed. That's where I met Renee back in the day in Ethiopia at the base of the Blue Nile. Okay. Great teacher, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He said, look, live in 24-hour bliss. Not just be happy sometime, but be in bliss 24 hours a day. And break down bliss. An acronym for bliss is being. Remember, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And there's a whole science to being. In fact, he wrote a whole book called The Science of Being and the Art of Living. And then L for love. There's only one definition in the good book for God. It says that God is love. And the more you love, the more you evolve. L-O-V-E-E-V-O-L. Okay. And the more you evolve, the more you love. But we're talking about unconditional love. I unconditionally love and support you just the way you are in all your power, glory, and magnificence. Okay. And then I for inspiration. Inspiration means being in spirit. And after, my great master, the spiritual teacher, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, had been in a cave for 4 years. And he came out and he said, I'm going to start the spiritual regeneration movement, SRM, to spiritually regenerate everyone and everything. Because we're spiritual beings having this human experience. And it's time for us to be 100%, 1000% spiritual. Because that's who we really are. Even though, we have these bodies, and as you know, you have multiple bodies. In fact, we're multidimensional light beings that are functioning on many levels simultaneously. Now, we might only be conscious when we wake up during the day, okay, of this physical body. But the more you develop your consciousness, the more you know how unbounded, how infinite, how eternal you are. And the more gratitude, the more thankfulness you start to feel within your heart. Because the universe, God, source, gives you everything. Okay. So that aspect of giving, and that's a technique in itself too, is give. Whatever you have in your life, you want to give it, that you want. If you want more money, give more money. But we're caught, you got to hold on to your pennies. You got to, work hard and this and that. Okay. There's trillions of dollars that are going through the air every nanosecond. And another one of my great teachers back in the day was Reverend Ike. Okay. And, the brother's controversial, but he was a great prosperity teacher. And one of the things he said, look, if you're catching hell, put down your mitt. Stop catching it. We're the masters. Start stepping into that mastery. Okay. So it's the same thing the opposite way. If you want to catch abundance, if you want to catch money, wealth, riches, you put that mitt up and you catch it. But you can only catch it based on your development of consciousness. So again, the highest and best thing that you can do is raise your consciousness, which means raise your frequency and your vibration. And one of the highest and best ways to raise your frequency and vibration is what we just did. Meditate. Be still and know that I am God. All right. And everybody here meditates, but I'm saying put more attention on meditation. Lengthen your meditation. Do it more regularly. Add, when you have time, meditate. Because that stillness, that be still and know that I am God, enlivens all your energy centers. Okay? All your chakras. and starts to open up the other ones that we used to have. We're starting to go back to these incredible God and goddess beings, all right? When we had 12 strands of DNA and we had 12 chakras instead of the base 7, 4 more above our head and 1 more below our feet. The 12 times 12, the 144,000, which in the gospel said that will be saved. Okay, that's a frequency. Okay, that's also the nerve ends in the body that start to enliven the soma, the ambrosia of the gods, the Christos oil that is within the mouth of God, coming from the base of your spine, coming up through your kundalini into the back of the base of your skull, climbing up the 33 vertebrae, Jacob's ladder in your being, and enlivening your physical body, coming off of your causal and your light bodies, that literally you start to turn your body into light. Okay? Kali Yuga, 3D reality, enough of it. Now we're moving into 5D, fifth dimensional reality, sometimes known as the Age of Aquarius. Sat Yuga, heaven on earth, the golden age. It's time now, but it's based on consciousness. Okay? We have it all inside of ourselves. The 33 creative impulses in creation reside right within your spiritual heart. And those 33 creative impulses are sometimes referred to as devas, sometimes referred to as angels or archangels. Okay. Sometimes in our culture referred to as ancestors. But it's in you as well as outside of you. It's spiritual as well as physical. The invisible is the basis of the visible. The spiritual is the basis of the physical. The absolute is the basis of the relative. Now it's the time to rise, and you do it through your consciousness. Whatever you put your attention on grows in your life. Yeah, you still got to put your attention on, you know, you got to work or you got to get some kind of income, you got to pay your bills and what have you. But that should be a small amount of your attention. The majority of your attention should be on coming back to your God self. Right? Waking up, being ascending instead of dying. Okay? In modern science, they even said that we human beings have developed a death hormone. Okay? People think that they're going to die before they reach 100, and guess what? They do. All right? But as you know, reincarnation is in every sacred book throughout the world. All right? But it was taken out of the Bible back in the Council of Constantinople back in the 300s. Right? So even though you drop this body, if you don't pass the grade, Earth is a great school, you just repeat. So we've repeated enough. It's time to step up and just be a spiritual being, 1,000%. All right? And there's no ESP. extrasensory perception. We all have those abilities. You just got to realize them. Everybody is a god, goddess, sorcerer, wizard, shaman. You're all of it and a bag of chips. But if you don't realize it, then it can be hard to make it down the street. If you don't realize it, that's why everybody has an alarm clock. If they got to get up in the morning, they can't even wake themselves up. Okay? Because you got millions of nerve ends that go out through every fiber of your body. They connect to your brain through your neurons. Your neurons firing produces your mind. Those nerve ends are like little antennas. And your nervous system is your vehicle for perception. I'm going to say that again. Your nervous system is your vehicle for perception. But just like you have a mirror that has dust, dirt, sticks, sticks and stones on it, even though the mirror can give a clear reflection, you can't get it with the mud and the dust and the dirt on it. So the nerve ends pick up every experience in your body. The term for it is called stress. Stress is any chemical or structural imbalance that remains in your system after an overload of experience. A general definition is any imprint on your nervous system. Me talking to you now, whether the room is hot or cold, whether you go to the bathroom, whatever it does, it puts an imprint on your nervous system. When the nervous system has experienced so many impressions throughout the day, then it starts manifesting as you being tired. There's an overload. So nature's natural way of dissolving stress is through rest. The deeper the rest, the more profound the activity. But as you and I both know, you can sleep your life away. Because a lot of times sleep doesn't go deep enough. Okay? And any form of meditation will help you. Meditation just means deep thinking. But as a lot of you do here, and because I'm a TM teacher and I mainly, invited a lot of the meditators, but they're guests here who do whatever form of meditation that they do. But studies have been done on guided meditation, regular meditation, taking a nap, whatever it is. Vipassana meditation, mindfulness. They found that when you go down and you go to sleep, your oxygen consumption and your metabolic rate goes down. Remember, the deeper the rest, the more profound the activity. They found that the deepest point of deep rest during 8 hours of sleep is what they call REM sleep. It takes about 4 hours to get there. And your oxygen consumption, metabolic rate goes down. Okay. As you know, when you're running, you're going to burn up more oxygen, huffing and puffing and like that. So when your system settles down, it starts to get that rest. Okay. They found that Transcendental Meditation, TM, which I call the Rolls Royce of meditation. And in fact, most of the people that I'm teaching meditation to now, they have a form of meditation, but they just want to move on up to the Rolls Royce. Okay. Goes to a minus 16%. Twice the level of deepest point of deep sleep. All right. But yet with awareness, it's called restful alertness. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is when you start to integrate restful alertness, in the East, it's called Turiya Chetna, that level of awareness into your waking state, into your dream state, into your sleep state, then you start to experience cosmic consciousness, also known as Christ consciousness, also known as enlightenment, that you're in the light. There are no more dark areas in your mind. And in your nervous system becomes so strong and flexible that you don't pick up the stress the way you did before. The stress that has been passed down to you 9 months into your mother's womb, when you grow up, your experiences, okay? Even psychologists say that by the time you're between the ages of 7 to 10, your subconscious is locked in. 90 to 95% of your life is locked in at that level. So you can be 40, 50, 100. But what's riding the bus is that inner nervous system, okay, which produces your consciousness. So you have your conscious awareness, which is only about 5 or 10% of your experience. Then you got about 90 to 95% of your experience, which they call sub. Forget the sub. You want to be totally conscious. And when you fall asleep at night, you go into unconsciousness. But there's a part of you that is pure consciousness. Okay. In the East, they call it the self with the big S. Or more modern times, they call your super consciousness. We all have it. If you're a human being on planet Earth with a nervous system, we all have the God force in us, around us, and through us. We're individualized expression of God in a physical form. Right? Now's the time to completely realize it and to do it fast. Because when you can integrate that pure consciousness into the waking state, into the dream state, into the sleep state, then you're naturally grateful. You're naturally thankful because you're in bliss. And we're talking 24-hour bliss. Not just during your waking state, but in your dream state and in your sleep state. Imagine that, because that is your birthright. To be bliss, not to be passed out, and not to talk about anybody, But, we've all had partners, and you're laying in the bed, and somebody hits you with an arm, or somebody farts on you. It's not necessarily, we just accept it, but being in bliss, no matter even if that happens, okay? 24-hour bliss. And being around a group, we started a group called the Black Avatar of Greatness. The school, the Black Avatar School of Greatness. I'm so blissed out I can't even say it. The Black Avatar School of Greatness. You want to be around like-minded people. And we're starting this virtually. But the ultimate goal is for it to be a physical reality. All right? A physical. In every major city of the U.S. urban areas where there's a majority of Black population, in Southside Chicago, okay? In Southeast D.C., in the Buttermilk Bottom in Atlanta, what's left of it, okay? In, Compton, in Watts, in these areas, having lighthouses, because we're light beings. But the beauty of creation is that we're made in the image and likeness of God. All right. So we imagine that we're less than. So guess what? We create that reality. But as you start to change your consciousness and discipline your thoughts, discipline your actions, then you start creating that reality. All right. And discipline is the new ecstasy. The more discipline you have, the more freedom you can experience. So as you take it upon yourself to be the best that you can be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially, you know, putting your mitt up for some of those trillions of dollars, because literally you attract abundance. You don't work for it, even though we've reduced ourselves to that. You know that you did not come to planet Earth to pay bills. Okay? Now we've reduced ourselves to that, but that's only a little portion. But you can also reach certain states of consciousness where it just flows in through expected and unexpected means, through investments, through value created, through exchanges. Okay? There's so many different ways that abundance can come to you. And then the rest of the bliss is so you got the bliss, you got the love, you got the inspiration. Okay. And you have satsang for S. Satsang is being in the company of the wise, the tribe. You get together, you celebrate. Within this, we have a thing that's called Soul Riser. It's a dance. Remember our forefathers used to dance around the fire and around the fire. The fire represents the Kundalini. Okay. But you can physically dance with intention and activation. That's another thing that we do in this group. We start activating each other and their techniques to activate the higher centers within your body. Because your body temple, your soul, your Atman, is housed in that. So you got to work through that. And you got to work through the conditioning and the programming starting 9 months in your mother's womb. Otherwise, you just stay on the surface. And yeah, you're going to get old and die. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it gets old. Why not youth and ascend? You don't hear people talking about youthing because everybody's attention is on the 3D reality. Survival, dog eat dog. Okay. We want to start moving into abundance, bliss, ascension. It's time to ascend. When Yeshua ascended, it was a big deal because we were so far off the path, nobody did that. But in ancient times, everybody ascended. It's no big deal. Death is something new. Okay? But you don't get off of the samsara, the wheel of life, just because you die. Okay? Because those impressions, those samskaras, okay, stay with you. All right? And you either get out of life alive or you don't. Like a friend of mine said, nobody gets out of life alive. Okay? But you do. You can. If you apply the techniques, if you be in the company of the wise, And then the last S stands for savor, service, serve others. See, when you're serving others, the ego doesn't get, your ego doesn't get in the way. And the ego is not a bad thing. In the physical body, you need an ego, but you don't. What happens is that the ego takes over. The ego in past time was referred to as the devil. Like the brother back in the day, Flip Wilson, the devil made me do it. All right. But the devil, you put the pitchfork in his hand, you put the horns on him, you put the tail on him. It's up to you to step into that archangel level, your higher self. Okay. And as you do it within yourself, it reflects in the environment. If enough people on this planet raise their consciousness, everything would change. Just like a bad dream. The monster can be after you. You could be falling off the cliff. But what happens when you wake up? It's a different reality. It's wake up time. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Now is the time. Now. The present is the presence. Okay? But it's up to you. All right? And have fun while doing it and be with a great group of beings. All right? Some of you on this call are already part of, the training. Because see, you know everything inside of you. But the way society is with the frequency and vibration of Kali Yuga, even though we're moving into Sat Yuga or the Age of Aquarius, the golden age, the predominant frequency is still of Kali Yuga. But the more work that you do, and the more, bliss that you experience, the more love, the more bliss, the more inspiration, the more service, the more satsang, the more, sadhana, spiritual practice. Okay. The more samadhi, getting to those deeper levels that you experience, the more you start to enliven your nature. And it naturally ripples out. That's what super radiance means. Okay. That the radiance goes out in a super force. Super radiance, the square root of 1%. All right. The square root of 1%. In fact, back in the day, the Maharishi, God bless his great being, he has gone into what is called Mahasamadhi, which means that, well, there's many ways, but there's three major ways to go to the next level. The majority of beings just die. And they say that 90 to 95% go from some type of heart disease, heart attack, stroke. The heart gives out. Somewhere between whatever it is, 70 to 100. Very few people make it past 100. Okay? Very few people. But as you start to enliven your consciousness, then those limitations don't exist for you anymore. You start to be awake, aware, and vibrantly alive 24/7. The bliss starts to permeate in your waking state, in your sleep state, and in your dream state. You never lose it. That is our birthright. Literally, that's where you go from humankind to Godkind, where you go from being a beast to being divine. Okay? In fact, I call it like cosmic rap. And there's a song. Instead of hearing all those bad words, they actually say a lot of good stuff, you know. And one of the songs is, I might not be perfect, but I am divine. Okay. And it's so true. We're all divine beings, but you gotta realize it. We're multidimensional beings of light, love, and bliss. Wake up. And the more you wake up, you start to create world peace. You see? Because the forest is only as green as each individual tree. So not only do you do it for yourself, but you start to do it for your family, your city, your nation, your world, just by working on yourself. And one of the techniques is right here, right now, what we're doing, just coming together, meditating together, super radiating together, and using spells, which are words, to activate higher states of consciousness. They help you to remember. Most of the game here is to remember. You already know it. All right. And to have bliss and fun and love and joy, to move from death, disease, destruction, poverty, scarcity into light, love, bliss, joy, and abundance. That's our birthright. Okay. And I want to thank you guys for coming, to be a part of this. But there's more. Okay. And you want to do it on a regular basis, just like you eat every day, you know, put on clothes every day, shower every day. Okay. You want to put more and more on your spiritual development. And I know most of you have a practice, but it's time to do more for yourself, for your family, for your city, your nation, your world. To step up. Okay. And I want to invite you guys. In fact, I have a program coming up on December 9th. Each day is going to look at one of your 5 bodies. The first day is going to be your mental body. Second day is going to be your physical body. Third day is your emotional body. The fourth day is your spiritual body, which is the basis of all of them. And then the law of attraction, your financial body, manifestation. Okay. Because we're all sorcerers. You know, that wasn't just some term from a fairy tale. You know, guy named Merlin was a sorcerer. We're all sorcerers because we're connected to the source. Okay. But you got to know how to use it, how to do abracadabra. Abracadabra means come forth. When you hear magicians say abracadabra, that's just pure manifestation. And you start stepping into a life of magic and miracles. All right. So that's coming up next week. All right. Not the week coming up, but the week after on December 9th. And I want to invite you guys to come there and to do some savor and bring at least 3 people. And it's free. Sometimes things cost investments because you got to keep, but all this stuff we're doing for free, just like this. All right. So come and bring at least 3 people. And as you know, to get 3 people there, you got to tell 9 or 10. That's just the law of averages because people get strung out. You got to tell many more. All right. But keep showing up. Keep dealing with the vibrations. Keep going higher. Keep doing savor. All right. And then you start to be who you really are, which is a God being. Okay. You are naturally unbounded, infinite, and eternal. You're not limited in any way, shape, or form. You are master. You can master your emotions. You can master your financial experience. You can master everything. You can master death. But you got to keep putting your conditioned self in it to release that conditioned self to be unconditional, so that your consciousness is that limited, and so that you start to bring about the light of light, pure consciousness for all mankind. So let's be thankful during this Thanksgiving time, and we're moving into the Christ consciousness time. And it's way more than just, giving some gifts. The greatest gift is the development of consciousness. Okay. So invite some people, show up next week and participate. Like right now, we're talking about Thanksgiving. We're talking about gratitude. We're talking about raising our consciousness. We're talking about ascending. And the more you put your attention on this, it will grow in your life. So now I'm going to open it up for any comments, any sharing, points of clarification, experiences, so that we can share in the darshan. And darshan can be also silent sometimes, so that we can share with each other. So are there any questions, comments, or points of clarification?
Yeah, Jeru, would you do the acronym of the bliss again? I might have missed something.
Okay. So, bliss. Bliss. In fact, you can even do a self-inquiry or just putting your attention on it. It's a contemplation of it. But the B stands for being. Being. Remember, we're a human being. We're not a human doing. We get all caught up into doing this and doing that. And in the human body, there is effort. Okay. But you do not have to struggle. You do not have to suffer. So the B is for being. The L is for love. Okay. And we're talking unconditional love. Not that love, if you just do this for me, I'll do that for you, but unconditional love. The I is for inspiration. Okay. And that inspiration is a Greek word which means in spirit. So the more that you're in spirit, the more you're into your natural self. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. All right. Then the S. Okay. The S is for satsang, which means, the company of the wise come together for satsang, to celebrate, to dance, to sing, or just to sit and be silent. Group meditation, dance, soul rising. Because when you at a soul rising, when you meditate, and then there's some activation and some discussion, some talk, then there's 2 hours of non-stop dancing. Usually with Afro beat and Afro house. And nobody gets tired. And by just dancing, after you've activated these higher centers, you don't get tired, and you just get higher and higher and higher. Okay. And then the last one is Seva. The S is Seva, S-E-V-A. Some of you in Atlanta, know about the health food co-op, Sevananda. Seva means bliss. No. Selfless service, excuse me. I just got bliss on my mind. All right. And Ananda means bliss. Ananda is bliss. Sat Chit Ananda. Okay. Sat, that which is good. Chit, that which is your consciousness. And Ananda, bliss. And these are Sanskrit words. Sanskrit is the closest language to nature. And that's the other beautiful thing about TM. Everybody gets their own individualized mantra. Okay. Which is a sound. It's usually in Sanskrit, but it has no meaning. But that sound, that frequency helps you to transcend, which means to go beyond. But then you even go beyond the mantra into that pure consciousness, into that super consciousness, where you just be. Be still and know that I am God. Doesn't say be still and try to be I'm God or hustle. It's know. You start going to the level of knowingness, which is the level of cognition, which is the level of truth. And then just like in ancient Kemet, in front of most of the temples, it was know thyself. So you start to know thyself, and then you start to know the truth, and then the truth will set you free. Okay? But it's up to you, and you want to keep doing more. I just came out with a compilation. Took me over a year and a half, put it together. And a lot of these things, you know, some of them you don't know or heard about them. But 108 ways to raise your vibration. Okay. But the number one way is meditation. So you want to just keep adding those on and doing them every day. In fact, I tell people, just get the book and open it up. You know, it's not like a regular book. It's like an encyclopedia of consciousness. You don't have to like read it from beginning to end. You open up the book, and wherever it is, you do that practice because you got to do the work. Okay. And there's over 108 ways. You keep your base practice, you know, just like in real estate, you keep your foundation, but then you build a house on it. And the deeper your foundation is, the bigger you can build. You can build apartment buildings. You can build skyscrapers. You build the house first, and then you can keep building. All right. So that's bliss. And you also want to start putting your attention on 24-hour bliss. I'm serious. Okay. Even when you sleep, you're in bliss. You could be smiling while you sleep because you're a conscious being. When you go to sleep at night, even though you pass out, the blood is still going through your veins. Okay. Your heart is still beating. So why are you knocked out? Why are you in unconscious state? Because you've had too much stress in your system. So if you systematically take it off by doing deep meditation, by going to the third law of thermodynamics, where you go to absolute zero, then the entropy naturally goes up. Every time you do TM, you go to those states. And like I say, other forms of meditation are good, but this is the Rolls Royce. Okay. And for those of you in Atlanta and DC, I'm having a course in about a week and a half here in Atlanta. And in DC, I'm having one near the end of February in a couple of months. All right. Any other questions, comments, or points of clarification?
You know, back in the day when people used to teach about godness, I saw it as, just as you're saying, 24/7 bliss. But the people that were teaching it weren't about 24/7 bliss themselves. So I was confused at that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, let me give a few words on that. And take it to the most extreme end is the Kool-Aid, okay? All right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the thing is, you do not have to be a qualified swimmer to push somebody in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, it would be helpful if you were. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been trained conditioning, and that's that frequency. It's even in, God bless the Christian church, which I grew up in and my family's big in. The minister's considered, he's a shepherd, and everybody in the flock are his sheep. They got to follow him. And part of Kali Yuga is, and this is in just about all the religions, is that you have to put somebody in place. The reverend, the rabbi, okay, the imam, for you to contact God.
Yeah.
We've moved into a whole new frequency now, where you're your own guru. Okay. Now you can have someone to guide you, to support you, to help you with accountability. That's what our group does. That's what I do. I'm literally a black guru. Guru means spiritual teacher. So all things spiritual, and one of the most spiritual things that you can have is a thought. All right. Most of the people on the planet now, their minds are beating them up, literally, because of the stress.
Right.
The nervous system is connected. All right. So what we're saying is keep developing your consciousness, and regardless of what the other person is doing, the leader, you start to look at them like kids in a sandbox. Even though they throwing sand everywhere, as long as they don't get it in their eyes, okay, it's okay. All right, we don't trip on it. And start stepping into your own mastery, which you're doing, Ngozi, right?
Right.
And then things that are good for you start to stay with you. Things that are not so good for you start to fall away.
Right.
And that's the beauty, also a beauty of good practices. As you grow in consciousness, you start to change. You start to leave certain things behind.
Right.
In fact, there's another good friend of mine and also a student. Some of you might know her down here. Naomi, good sister. She has this veggie taste thing. And in fact, she has a thing on Wednesdays now, which I read to recently. Awesome. Her and Tracy. The black vegetarian. But I had a thing coming up, and I said, well, look, let's get online, let's set up a joint venture. And she was saying, well, look, none of my people, all they want to talk about is food. And I said, Naomi, that people keep calling me. Naomi, you want to do things that are similar, and that nobody's going to change their eating habits unless they've developed their consciousness. Okay. So the more you develop your consciousness, whatever outer thing that is, whether it's a leader, whether it's changing your diet, whether it's, being nicer to people, or whatever it is, not getting as upset or angry anymore, it naturally changes because you're taking the dust and the dirt off of the mirror. So whatever challenge that you have on the outside, it's an inside job. You got to do the work inside, and it will change.
Right.
A very good question, because a lot of people look outward. You see?
Right.
It's all inward. Remember, inner is creation. All right? We're made in the image and likeness of God. And outer is effect. Cause is inner, outer is effect. Focus on cause. Get behind the wheel and take one little finger and use power steering to turn the car, as opposed to getting out of the car and trying to push that 1,000 pounds of the car. Life is an inside job. You want to study, you want to meditate, you want to do savor, you want to go out and you want to do all these things and do it with fun and do it with a group of people, but everything you got to do yourself. So I'm inviting you guys to come to the thing next week. I'm inviting you guys to get the book. In fact, let me share. Some of you seen this, but some of you haven't. Let's see here. Let's bring this up. This is my website. You can take down the URL. Some of you who haven't. Let's see here. Okay. This is some of my programs. But the main thing I wanted to show you guys was the ebook, 108 Ways to Raise Your Vibration. The Alchemy of Enlightenment. It's time for enlightenment. Not just, have enough money to be comfortable and look towards retirement and all that. I mean, how are you going to retire when you're a conscious being? You might retire from the particular work that you're doing, but there's always more. Okay. So the thing that I wanted to show you guys, and some of you have been on before, is the cover. All right. Boom. That's a technique in itself. Just looking at that is called a yantra, a symbol. And inside of that, what is called a Merkaba, which is your body of light, is the Sri Yantra, which is a yantra. You have mantras, which they're mantras and they're mantrams. Some that are said outwardly, some that are said inwardly. But then there are techniques. A yantra is something that you look at, and it starts to structure your awareness. It starts to structure the brain to go into coherence. It starts to take the stress off the nervous system. Starts to activate the light. So you want to put more light into our cells. So each one of your cells has a light quotient. And most of the planet is very low. In fact, there's another good book. It's more technical, but it gives you the physical side. It's called Power versus Source. Versus Force. Power versus Force. Where it says that the average human being on planet Earth is about at 200. And that vibrations like sadness, worry, jealousy, they're like, in the 50s and 100s. But you really don't start waking up until you're like at 400 and 500. And an enlightened being is at 1,000. And that's our potential. Okay. So you want to look at these 108 ways to raise your vibration. Now the book is $47. Most people look at books for $19 and $20, and this is cheap. Okay, as you know, that's a meal. All right, and some of you here in Atlanta, if you go to Loving It Live, that's not even enough.
True.
Okay, but you look at mental mastery, physical wellness, energizing your body and your mind, emotional alchemy, transforming your emotions into higher states of consciousness. And then in the physical well-being, there's a whole section in there about digestion, using that for spiritual awakening. Nature's harmony, joyful living, manifesting powers, rituals of transformation. Okay, whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just beginning your journey, 108 awesome ways to raise your vibration offers something for everyone. Every chapter is a treasure trove of insights, practical exercises, and transformative wisdom that will inspire you to rise above challenges and step into your best version of yourself. Okay? That's what we want to do. We want to be in the best, and you want to do something. Okay? Don't just come to a group like this, which is beautiful. It helps you and it helps others, but keep doing stuff and start stepping into the tribes that are doing stuff on a regular basis. All right. So one of the things we're looking at is that we have a membership. Okay. For as little as $5 a week. $5 a week. You can have access to training materials, wellness, newsletters, community access, once a month group coaching session. And everybody needs a coach. Everybody. Don't just think Oprah and, you know, successful people, Magic Johnson, you know, basketball players, all this stuff, Michael Jordan. Everybody had a coach and still have coaches. All right. You as an individual on planet Earth, you need a coach. You don't have to be some superstar, but you can become a superstar. And your coach can help you. And a coaching tribe can help you. So that's what you join into. And you see the packages, you get more for a little more investment. But the other reason why I'm bringing this up is there's a huge immersion program, 6 months. And I got this idea where I went on a 6-month course in the Alps in Switzerland, okay, with the Maharishi back in the day. We just immersed ourselves from 6 in the morning to 10 at night, okay, just immersing ourselves in the development of consciousness, mind, body, and spirit. But this program exists. Okay. And during this holiday season, if you get any of these packages, okay, we'll throw in the book, the $47 book, as part of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday thing. And if you get the big package where you go in complete immersion, we'll throw in 6 months of the platinum package, the membership. Okay. But the main thing is get something. I've had hundreds of people on various different types of calls, and then 2 or 3 people, even though people say they want to do something, they don't do it. So what I suggest is do something now. All right. You do it now. Bird in the hand. Get the book, join the community, and you can stop it at any time. It's only $5 a week, the base. All right. And we're doing a bonus whereby, you know, if you join the community, we'll throw the book in. So I'm gonna put the link right here in the chat, and do it now. Because something always comes in the way. Bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
J. this is Jada. I'm still waiting on you.
I thought I gave you the definition of bliss.
No. I'm talking about the book.
Okay. I'll make sure you get it. I gave it to my VA.
Okay.
He said he was going to get it to you.
All right.
You haven't received anything in the email? He was going to give you a code.
Nothing that I recognize to be you.
No. It's not coming from me. It's coming from my VA.
I know, but I don't know who he is. How am I going to recognize who he is?
Okay.
But we can take care of this later. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Sounds good. So any other questions, comments, or points of clarification? Share. Whenever you bring something up, it establishes it more in your nervous system. Remember, your nervous system is your vehicle for perception. And thank God the people that have already brought stuff up, they're already in it. and they can still bring stuff up, but also I'd like some new people to, if they choose to. And if you don't feel like doing it, then you should, because that means some stress is holding you back.
So, Jeru, are we in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Matrix? Or are we in the middle of it, or where are we? Do you know?
We're kind of in the middle of it, but on a spiritual, cosmic, metaphysical level, there's supposed to be a compensation of at least 10,000 years of the golden age. Okay? Kali Yuga goes for a long time. And, all the stuff that has happened, there's still more, but whatever you want to call it, the heavens, the gods, the God force has set up these cycles where it can be interrupted. And so literally what the brothers and sisters sung about in the fifth dimension, the age of Aquarius, when Jupiter aligns with Mars, it's happening now. We're at the beginning. We're in the dawn of it, and moving towards the full sunshine. Some people say by 2032, it could be here. Okay. The great Maharishi said it cannot be reversed. The age of enlightenment cannot. He didn't give a date, but he said that it can't be reversed.
Okay.
Yeah. Cannot be reversed.
Right.
But it's up to you whether you want to step into it, or the other thing on the spiritual circuit, the talk on the street is that you won't be here anymore if you don't raise your consciousness high enough. But you'll end up on a Jurassic Park type planet. where you have to run around to save your life so you won't be somebody's dinner.
Okay.
So it is what it is.
Right. Very good.
Anybody else?
I'll speak. Greetings.
Great. Judy G.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're almost getting to that now on this planet.
Yeah, right.
I know, right?
Earth.
Whoa.
If you want to look at it like that, of course, I'm not looking at it from a negative. But I was going to say, I guess I must have been tuned in, because I did see where I invited 3 people and they did come. I invited 3, so I'm happy
Awesome sauce.
that they showed up. And also, you mentioned next week. You said if you're coming next week, what were you speaking of? Or is this a weekly thing?
No, it's on December the 9th. I'm doing what is called a WOW challenge. WOW means wealth, health, opulence, and wisdom. Okay. And it goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for 5 days. It's an hour to 90 minutes each night. And yeah, but my VA, he's in the Philippines, but normally he would bring it up. Let me see.
Is your VA Unc?
Unc?
Cool. Yeah.
No. He's one of my JV partners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A VA is a virtual assistant.
Oh.
Yeah.
So So you're talking AI.
Yeah. He uses AI, but he's a physical person. Let me see here if I
So
can.
so while you're pulling that up, is that going to also be a free 5 days?
Yes. Yes, it will be.
Will that
Uh,
be sent out like this reminder? I like this reminder service you're using is really good. Because
well, the reminder service is me. Okay.
oh well, well you're doing I think you know from what I've been seeing, the reminders that come right before an event tend to me to be, I'm not saying that's the only way you should mark it, but whenever you send out reminders before an event, that usually captures people who are just ready right then to join, you know. That's a good system.
Right. This is the event right here. Um, and then it's the 5-day challenge. He didn't put in the date. I gotta talk to him. There it is, December 9th through 13th. Um, what I can do is forward it to you, which I think you're on my email list anyway. He sends out the emails.
Yeah, I'll forward it to some of the same guests. And
Right.
you know a couple of them.
Okay. So right now, I'm going to forward it to you, Judy G. So the Royal Connections.
Oh no, no, no.
So the Judy
That's
Gresham 33,
333
333. Yeah.
with no dots, all Judy Gresham 333 at gmail.com.
Right. You should. Something should have came to you right now. And if you could forward it to your guests and some other people, we would really
Okay.
appreciate it. Yes.
All right. And my
So,
final question was the package where you join for $5 a week
mm-hmm.
and you can cancel at any time. Is that the one where you get 3 books a piece?
No, no, no. I like you, Judy. You always no, that's let me bring it back up. Yes. I'm doing as a bonus during these holidays. I'm gonna throw in the book, which is normally $47.
But I'm saying, are you able to get the book if you join the $5 a week as well?
Okay, let me see here. What am I doing? Zoom. What were you saying, Judy?
So I'm saying, if you join the $5 a week, do you get the book with that as well?
Yes, that's a bonus that I'm doing for this this weekend for the holiday. It'll last till Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. And is there a link or something for that? Or that's
It's right here. You go to the website. Let me show you. Let me see here.
and I'll forward all of this information to the guest, and then they can make contact with you if they want to be added to the regular email.
Okay, so you go to the website, masterjrue.com,
Mhm.
right? And then you go on down and you choose one of these packages. And then I'll throw in the book, which is normally $47. So
Right, but I don't
that's
see the one that says $5 a week.
right here.
The one to the far left.
Mm-hmm. That's $5 a week is $20 a month.
$19.99.
Oh, you are a salesperson. Okay, gotcha.
So,
I gotcha.
Master Jeru, does that bonus apply to those who are already $19.99 a month?
This is a Black Friday,
I just asked a question.
Cyber Monday sale.
Then I'm gonna cancel my service and then redo it. Peace and blessings.
All right, but also, you know, you got a special deal because you're Hattie, the #1 angel.
Don't stop.
For your $19.99. Guess
Don't
what else?
Don't start.
Yeah.
Don't start. Let it go.
No. You got a special deal.
Okay, I know.
Yeah, which is way beyond.
Mhm.
You know. Okay. Any other questions, comments, points of clarification? Any good stuff?
I was gonna add when you were talking about Tracy and the food and Naomi, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. You were mentioning talking to them about, you were talking to one of them or both of them in regards to developing consciousness and adding that to talking about food and diet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to say also, there's that mental diet.
Yes, so true.
So that's another aspect because, it's also what you're feeding your mind. So that's another way to expand on how they could approach the combining of the two diets.
Excellent. That is so true.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
saw Tracy a few weeks ago. I was shocked. She just out of the blue. Yep. And I saw Naomi somewhere at one of the festivals. Collard Green Festival.
Yay, Bo.
Peace. Enjoy the class.
Also, too, I'm giving a talk this week, Thursday, and also the following week on Transcendental Meditation. So I'll also let you know about that too, Judy. And you can let some people know about that also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yay, Bo.
Peace. Are you having any physical events anywhere yet? As of
I'm working on one in December. I want to have a Christmas soul riser, but it hasn't been formulated yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I enjoyed the class. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah. Thanks for the knowledge, Jeru. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, everybody, let's give each other goodwill. Some love, light, bliss.
Light, bliss. Divine guidance.
Blessings. Peace and blessings, family.
Take yourself off of mute and give people the vibration from your voice. Some goodness.
Peace and blessings.
Yep.
Love and light, fam.
All this good and perfect.
Peace and
Yes.
blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Love and light.
It's all energy. We can give it.
Happy vibrations and
Much
happy.
la 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 la.
Hey, Bo.
Health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money.
Ashe.
And plenty of honey to go with it.
Yeah,
Don't forget the honey.
yeah, gotta have the honey.
Ashe.
Honey and money.
Ashe. Peace.
Peace and blessings, great one.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your week and see us on the 9th. That's Monday after next.
All right. Peace and
Thank
love.
you. All right.
Yes.
Enjoy.